Hi there. So happy New Year. It's the start of a new year, obviously. And the Houston Association of Realtors just released their numbers for 2020. So I wanted to take this time to just review what we've seen and kind of summarize it. I know we've been talking about this for a while because we saw the trends throughout 2020, but what a surprise that year was. We had this massive shutdown, we had a quarantine. The supply of homes was actually at the lowest levels of all time, and yet we still managed to see growth. So single family home sales actually surpassed the 2019's level, and 2019 was a record level for home sales, but 2020 surpassed it by over 10%. So when the shutdown happened, realtors were very quickly considered essential workers in Texas, and we're really, really fortunate because that was not the case in all of the states. So it allowed us to continue to do our jobs. We did pivot, we did more virtual tours, we did more video showings, but we were able to work. So as a whole, I mentioned single family home sales were up about 10.5%. Prices were also up, and the average sales price in 2020 was 6% higher than we saw in the prior year. That all equated to a total dollar volume growth for all sales was 18% year over year. So really, really good news there. One thing to note, and it'll be sort of a footnote on our data for years to come as we look back, 2020 didn't really follow typical seasonality. So this overall gain that we saw was achieved later in the year rather than having a really strong spring and a quieter, holiday season. We saw that gain, in the latter part of the year, in the fourth quarter. So as an example, if we just look at December's numbers, again, they were just released as well. Home sales were up 25% year over year in the month of December. And the other interesting and also surprising note is that if you break it out by price point, the biggest gains were actually in the higher end market and even in the luxury market. So sales of homes between $500,000 and $750,000 were up 80% year over year. And if you look at sales of homes over $750,000, they were up 54%. So, if we go into the data and we reflect back on the year that we had, I definitely think we can thank low interest rates. My hope for 2021 is that inventory will improve for buyers. This is what we expect to see. We do expect to see more sellers enter the market, and I'm definitely anxious to see it take place. We anticipate that rates will stay low for some time, but ultimately they are projected to rise. So if you're thinking of buying, I would advise you, especially as we move into spring, as the inventory levels improve, now would be really a great time. If you have any questions, if you want to learn more, or if you are thinking about buying or selling, please contact me and I'd love to help. Thanks and have a great day.